She isn't who she says she is. That is when I realized the truth. It was midnight, and the clock had just struck 12. The party was in full swing, with music blasting and people laughing. I had just met this guy, and we had hit it off immediately. His name was Alex, and he was charming, handsome, and seemed to be genuinely interested in getting to know me. We had been talking for hours, and I found myself feeling drawn to him in a way that I hadn't experienced before. As the countdown to midnight began, Alex took my hand, and we shared a kiss under the sparkling lights of the party. It was magical, and I felt like I was on cloud 9. But little did I know, my life was about to take a drastic turn. The next morning, I woke up to find out that Alex was my fiancé, and the man I had actually fallen for was my bodyguard. I was confused, shocked, and didn't know what to do. How could this have happened? Why did I kiss the wrong brother? And what did it mean for my future? As I tried to process what had just happened, I couldn't help but think about the events that led up to this moment. I had been engaged to Alex's brother, Ryan, for a few months, and everything seemed perfect. Ryan was kind, caring, and loved me for who I was. But as time went on, I started to feel a little suffocated by the relationship. Ryan was very controlling, and I felt like I was losing myself in the process. I tried to brush it off as pre-wedding jitters, but deep down, I knew that something was off. And then, I met Alex. He was Ryan's brother, and they couldn't be more different. Alex was free-spirited, adventurous, and had a spark in his eye that drew me in. We would talk for hours, and I found myself feeling seen and heard in a way that I never had with Ryan. But I never thought that it would lead to this. I was engaged to Ryan, and now I had kissed his brother. What was I supposed to do? I felt like I was trapped in a nightmare, and I didn't know how to wake up. As I walked around the house, trying to clear my head, I stumbled upon a conversation between Alex and Ryan. They were talking about me, and it seemed like they had been keeping secrets from me. I didn't know what to make of it, but I knew that I had to get to the bottom of it. I decided to confront them, but as I approached, I heard something that made my blood run cold. "She's not who she says she is," Ryan said, his voice low and menacing. What did he mean? And why was Alex nodding in agreement? I felt a chill run down my spine as I realized that my life was about to take a dramatic turn. As I listened to the conversation, I felt like my world was crumbling around me. What did Ryan mean by "she's not who she says she is"? Was he talking about me? And why was Alex nodding in agreement? I decided to confront them, but as I approached, they stopped talking and looked at me with a mixture of guilt and concern. "What's going on?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Ryan took a deep breath and started to explain. "Lynn, we need to tell you something. You're not who you think you are." I felt like I had been punched in the gut. What were they talking about? I was me, Lynn Nguyen. I was a 22-year-old Vietnamese woman, engaged to Ryan, and now somehow involved with his brother Alex. But as Ryan continued to talk, I realized that nothing was as it seemed. My whole life had been a lie, and I was just a pawn in a much larger game. I felt like I was living in a dream, and I didn't know how to wake up. As the truth started to unravel, I realized that I had to make a choice. I could either continue down the path that had been laid out for me or take a chance and forge my own way. But what would happen if I chose the latter? Would I be able to handle the consequences? And what about Alex and Ryan? Where did they fit into all of this? I knew that I had to be strong, but as I looked at the two brothers, I felt a wave of uncertainty wash over me. What was I getting myself into? As the days went by, I found myself torn between two worlds. On one hand, I had Ryan, my fiancé, who seemed to be hiding secrets from me. On the other hand, I had Alex, the man I had kissed at midnight, who seemed to be the only one who truly understood me. I didn't know what to do, but as the wedding day approached, I knew that I had to make a decision. I couldn't just go through with the wedding without knowing the truth. I decided to investigate further, and what I found shocked me to my core. Ryan was not who he seemed to be, and our whole engagement had been a setup. I felt like I had been living in a fairy tale, and now the reality was hitting me like a ton of bricks. As I stood at the altar, looking at Ryan, I knew that I couldn't go through with it. I turned around and ran, leaving everything behind. But as I looked back, I saw Alex, standing there, waiting for me. He smiled, and I knew that I had made the right decision. We walked out of the church together, hand in hand, ready to face whatever came next. It wasn't going to be easy, but I knew that I had found my true partner in Alex. And as we walked into the sunset, I knew that our love would conquer all. But little did I know, our journey was just beginning, and the road ahead would be filled with twists and turns that would test our love to the limit. As I look back on that fateful night, I realized that kissing the wrong brother was the best thing that ever happened to me. It led me to Alex, the love of my life, and it taught me to be true to myself. I learned that sometimes, you have to take a chance and follow your heart, even if it means going against the norm. And I learned that true love can conquer all, even the secrets and lies that try to tear us apart. So, to anyone who is reading this, I want to say that it's never too late to make a change. Don't be afraid to take a chance and follow your heart. You never know where it might lead you. And always remember, the truth will set you free. In the end, I found my happily ever after with Alex, and I know that our love will last a lifetime. We got married in a beautiful ceremony, surrounded by our friends and family, and we lived happily ever after. The end.